Alright, you bastards, this is Some-Belgian-prepper, and I want to talk about something that I always been skeptical about, and that it's one of those weather and notebooks. It is just paper, as you can see, just like any notebook, but it's waterproof paper. And to be honest, I've been really surprised about this thing because I always was skeptic about it. So I put it to the test on several things. As you can see, if you can see, this has been soaked in water. You can still see some the water drops on top of it. So if you can see, first of all, wrote this when it was dry. I wrote this when it was wet, and when I wrote this when this was wet, and afterwards when it was soaked, I rubbed it, and you can still see a little bit of what I wrote, but I was really rubbing it while it was wet. So I'm impressed that you can still read it a little bit. So another thing that I tried is, if you can see, I tried to see if it was fully wet, if it would still be able to use as tinder. And to my surprise, even soaking wet, I used a lighter like this. I will perhaps show you a little bit now. It is still wet. Oh, there we go. It's still going. Still going. Yeah, still burning, going. And now it's out. It's perhaps for a short time, but it's actually impressive that even when it's soaking wet, it can still burn a little bit to this point. So imagine what it does when it's still dry. So yeah, I'm impressed, and I'm going to put this inside of my bug out bag. There are several things you can do with this. First of all, you can write notes with it if you have to estimate distances. You have to remember towns names. If you have to remember some things, some other things that you need. So it's a little bit of a memory book. Or if you have to do calculations, you can do some calculations on this. It will make it much more easier. If you don't have a smartphone or some other calculation automatic machine, you have to do it from the noggin to some paper. So another thing you can do is, if you're on a bug out and some of your members of the bug out group has not made yet and will follow through, um, on certain places you can place some notes, you leave some notes behind to say where you're going or how the situation is. And what's good about this is it is a sort of noticeable a piece of paper. So it's something that some refugees do. They do it to monuments, the house of the major. How do you say this? City hall, churches, any crossroads, any place where other refugees place papers to seek or give information to their loved ones that are following. Then this is more handy because usually they will put regular paper and it will flow away by the wind, or it will how do you say this, get wet and whittle. So if it's one of those papers that is waterproof, yeah, it will stay for a longer time, and that person that is searching for you will get the information that way. And it's not really that easy to rip, because if you can see, yeah, I had really, with a normal paper I can just rip it open like that, but this I really had to put some force into it, so it will not just rip from one nail off like this, like that. So yeah, that's a little bit very handy. So in that situation, another thing is an IOU note perhaps. So yeah, if you have to ask somebody for help or services or some food and you want to repay them back later, that's IOU paper that you can do. So yeah, making a fire, like I said, with as a tinder, uh, perhaps, yeah, those are a few things that you can do with this. Like I said, I just discovered this and tested it out, but if somebody of you know other uses for this that I have not mentioned, please let me know. I'm always eager to learn new things that you can do with this. And yeah, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and see you in the next video. Cheers.